Welcome, friends, to Crazy Women Country, where women's voices matter. We bring you the greatest female voices in the music industry, from the artists, songwriters, and producers, to managers and executives, and all the women who make the music industry what it is today. Thank you for joining us. Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Crazy Women Country. I'm Donna, and today we are here with Mikaela Finne. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Donna? Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. I'm so glad you're here today. I'm doing great. I am quite warm and toasty here in Florida. It's like 80 some degrees. What's the temperature like where you are?
Well, actually, we had a little bit of a warmer day today. It's been a little bit on the plus side. So earlier today we had like plus 1 or 2 degrees Celsius, which is probably, I think, if I'm like guessing, and I don't think I'm totally off, it should be around the like upper 30s or 40s in Fahrenheit. I think I'm sort of on point, but I'm not sure. But somewhere like that.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. And then, but yesterday and the day before, it was a little bit colder. So then it was -5 or 6. But when I was back home during Christmas, we had a winter for real, and it was -23.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Those are definitely temperatures I think you have to get accustomed to. I know our Canadian nurses said to me one time, they're like, it is so cold here sometimes. I'm like, yeah, I'm not sure I could do that. Like
No. It's very different for sure. I mean, it takes some getting used to, for sure.
Wonderful. So we'll start off with a really difficult question today. Who is Mikaela Finne?
Gosh. Well, I'm just a country girl from the Nordics, and it's like people always sort of, I'm not going to use the word shocked, but surprised that I do what I do, and I'm from where I'm from, because they're not really used to hearing anybody from these parts doing the type of music that I do. But I mean, honestly, I grew up with it just like anybody else, it was the music that my dad listened to, and music that I really related to and felt really inspired by when I was a kid. And when I started writing music myself, it was just really what came naturally. So I'm just being this is something that's really important to me. I'm being very true to my nature. Yeah, I would say.
Beautiful. So recently you had your album. I know I was listening to it the other day and today again. So do you want to tell everyone about the album that you released?
Yeah, so it's my second album, and it came out in August, like really late August. And every artist always say this about their stuff. It's the best thing I've done yet. But I mean, for me, honestly, it really is so far the best compilation of songs that I've done so far, because they're written in a period, from 2019 all the way up until, like, I think the very last track on the record I finished like the week before we started recording. So it's a compilation of songs that I picked out from this period, and it's just 8 songs out of probably, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 songs that I've written throughout this period. And I chose, with support of my producer, Brady Blade, these particular 8 songs that I really think, I mean, they speak to me, and they really like showcase my heart and what I feel and what I've seen and what I've lived through during periods of my life. And that's really something that I wanted to share.
Wonderful. It's a great album.
Thank you.
I know I was listening to Outlaw Women.
Yeah.
And of course, being crazy women country, we like to push the boundaries and put women. So I really,
Exactly.
that song definitely resonated. So you want to tell us a little bit about that, how that started, what the thoughts were behind it, you know?
For sure. So, I mean, Outlaw Women is a very, I mean, it's a really important song for me. It really, really is, because it's something that I really believe in. And it's something that I've really, I mean, I live through it all the time, because I'm really a person, and you can ask anybody who's ever met me. I don't give a shit what you think about me. I really don't. I don't care where you come from. I don't care whatever. I'm just here to do what I do, and I want to do it without any freaking compromise. And I feel that as a woman, it's really important to take this stand if you're inclined to do so, and to share that opinion with other people, because as a woman throughout, the centuries, and especially today in country music, or I mean in any other genre of music, I feel that we're not taken seriously. It's like I can only go back to myself, not only as a musician and a songwriter, but also as a connoisseur, if you will, of music. Like, I love to listen to music, and I do so all the time, every day. And like in the last couple of years, the majority of what I listen to when it comes to new music is made by women, because it's so great. It's so much. I mean, I'm not going to say that it's, by default better than something that a man wrote, because I don't think that's fair. But I think if you look at the quality of what women are making right now in country music, like generally with all the subgenres, I really have to say that they're dominating, and they're making really amazing music. And that's something that really inspired Outlaw Women for me. Like, I think it's so important that women are taking the space, and that they're being true to the nature, and that they're just writing and singing about whatever they feel like, and it's nothing wrong, and we're supposed to do that, and it's awesome that we're doing that.
Oh, that is just beautiful in itself. That is absolutely true.
Yeah, I really think so, and it's something that's really important to me. And I know that I'm not really popular for having such a strong opinion about it, but it's really something I believe in, and it's worth all the sacrifice.
Yeah, and I think you hit the nail on the head. And it doesn't matter what, and that's where it goes back to your don't care what people think, you just got to do it. And I think
Exactly.
that also was something that, like, even if you look back to like Dolly, Loretta, and all them, they went through that
Mhm.
same time, because even back then, it was, women aren't supposed to work. They're supposed to be at home. They're supposed to take care of the whatever kids and husband and whatever, like, so
Exactly.
just the change of
Exactly.
culture and making that better and
Yeah.
improving and standing up for women is yeah, it's
Yeah.
100%.
It's really important to me, because it's like it's so needed that we use our minds and our voice to really speak what's important to us, instead of having a man telling us what we're supposed to think, you know?
Absolutely.
Hmm.
So the other songs I was listening to that I really resonated, Time
Oh, yeah.
Stands Still. How did that one
Oh,
come about? What was like, did you start with lyrics first? How do you start your writing process? Is it lyrics, or is it music and lyrics, the combination?
well, I mean, for me, I usually write my lyrics first, and then, I usually sit with it a little bit, and just like, okay, so do I feel this? And then I like change or edit, and kind of let it just speak to me a little bit. And then when I feel that I sort of have the lyrics done, I go to the melody thing. But I mean, Time Stand Still, um, yeah, I mean, it's weird, because I want to say every song on the record is special, because it is in its own way. But I
They're all
mean,
your
it's
babies.
exactly, they're my babies. But I mean, it's not, everything I write about, for me, it's important to say that it's not fabricated. It's something that I've felt, and something that I've um, gone through or experienced. And Time Stand Still is a very real experience, I put to pen and paper and um, tried to do justice of what it's like to uh, make sure that you feel the importance in a moment. It doesn't have to be something, sensual or sexual like this one is. It could be just whatever kind of moment you want. But sometimes it's important to not try and make it into something it's not, and just realize that it's really beautiful in the simplicity of what it is.
Oh, that's
Mm,
beautiful.
yeah.
So obviously, I listened to "What If I" and "Here I Am." I love those. Those four stood out more to me in general. But I mean, the whole
Thank you.
record was great. The whole album.
Thank you.
So, what about those two? What do you like? What are your takes on those? Were those more personal, or? I mean, obviously. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, so I mean, all the songs are personal, but those, I think it's really awesome that you just like pick those four songs specifically, because they're very, I mean, I would say I like all the songs on the record, and depending on like in what kind of setting I am. But What If I and Here I Am, it's those are very specific because they speak a lot about um who I am as a person, not only as an artist, but like What If I explains, a lot of people would view me in a negative manner for being as stubborn and very like goal oriented as I am. But for me, that's a positive because I know what I want and I know what I'm going. And that's very much, it's not only What If I is not only reflection of love and that whole thing, but it's also very much about who I am as a person. It's like, if you want to get on the train, you better accept me for who I am, or you're not gonna have a lot of fun. It's not gonna work out. And Here I Am is the same thing. It's a lot about, like, this record for me was a lot about just sharing my very personal self. Like, this is like a little bit of an insight to who I am, not only as an artist but as a person. Like, I'm very um you know stubborn and you know driven and all these things, and there's something that's really important to me. So, and it shows in every aspect of who I am, and I wanted to share that in some way in these songs, and explaining these um experiences in these situations that I've been in, and from my perspective, of course.
Beautiful, and it's not so much stubborn. I think it's confident and decisive. You're decisive. You know what you want. There you go.
Yeah, for sure. Exactly. I know exactly what I want and I'm going for
Yeah,
it. Mhm.
absolutely. So tell us, who are some of the women? Now, I did read your bio, so I am kind of curious on this question when I ask it, because you have
Mhm.
country and metal. You grew up listening to some metal, and so
Really.
as someone who listens to, I do listen to everything, and I admit it, I listen to everything a little bit here and there. Who are the women that have inspired you to do music, and that you just love in those realms?
Oh my gosh. There's a lot, but I mean, for me, especially when it comes to my songwriting, Emmylou Harris is, I mean, I can't stress it enough. I just love her. The way that she's able to um express herself and the way she puts things together is something that's been very inspiring to me. But also, Lucinda Williams and Patsy Cline, and I mean, you can't go anywhere without mentioning Dolly Parton, right? Because she's this holy circle of women who's done so much for songwriters like myself. I mean, especially I can there's a lot of things that Lucinda Williams have written um that I've really taken to heart, because I can so relate to what she's writing, and she's very she's very personal in what she writes, just like I am. And it's something I respect, when it comes to being true to your own nature. So yeah, I think those are definitely like my top inspirations just by songwriting.
That's wonderful. Those are awesome women. And
Oh my
yeah,
gosh, they're so badass.
I mean,
And
there's only, if I had to pick top women, those would probably be some of them. And then I throw in like
right, but
McKenna.
there's so many. Like you can go on and on and on about like,
yeah.
Freaking Tanya Tucker. Are you kidding? She's amazing. There's so many women who's done so much. And I think honestly, with those women, if they wouldn't have done what they did in their time, shit, I would not be able to do what I do now.
Absolutely. I think you hit the nail on the head on that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there's so many things that have changed. And even though right now I know in the US, and I don't know all the markets, but in the US, for country music, we're at less than 8% radio airplay for women. So the 90s, we were at like 33, 35 in that range.
Yeah.
But still, there's no reason we should be down to that. It should be more equitability of music. It really should, because, men and women both make great music, and
they really do. And it's I really think it's just, I mean, to put it plainly, it's not fair because women write amazing music. And, a lot of people forget, if you're not really, I'm not going to say it's just musicians or songwriters who think about these things. There's a lot of music fans out there who think about it and they're, aware of these things. But, a lot of these, male performers, their songs are written by women, but they're not given enough credit. Take, Tim McGraw, for example. One of his biggest hits, Humble and Kind, was written by a woman. He didn't write that. And I don't think enough people are aware that he did not write it.
Yeah, and that song, Lauren McKenna wrote that song, and she actually wrote it for her own kids that were going off to college. So and that's where like you have to really, she's a personal writer too, and even if the whole song isn't personal, she starts it personal. So
exactly. So I think and I really, it's saying something that you can have the industry think it's all right to have a female songwriter but not a female artist, because that's really what they're saying. A woman is allowed to write a song for a man and it can be a hit, but for her to write a song for herself, all of a sudden they can't guarantee it because it's a woman performing it. Like the double standard is ridiculous. It really is.
Yeah, I agree totally.
Yep.
Absolutely. I mean, that's why you have, I had this conversation with Victoria Banks about the lack of women songwriters in general. Like
exactly.
You have guys that'll go be straight lyricists and they'll make it without a problem, and women struggle for that,
Exactly, because, we're not taken seriously. They look at a woman, they're like, oh, you're just being emotional. We can't, nobody's going to relate to this, but they forget that we're still in a world where the majority of the population are women, and we're wanting to listen to music made by women. So like, it doesn't, whatever they're saying, and whether it's the industry or country radio or whatever, it doesn't make sense because it's not logical. They're just sticking to a program that they've done forever and ever, and they're too afraid and, quite frankly, too lazy to change it.
And that was a great point, that you forever, because back in the 1960s is when it was said that, and it was in the US that said, don't play women back to back. They told them straight up. And I mean, so since then it's never changed. So we're still on the 1960s mentality.
Exactly. And we've come a long way from the 1960s. Like, it's freaking 2022. Are you joking? Like, what the,
I absolutely agree.
Craziness.
Yes.
Yeah.
So are you ready for some fun, crazy questions?
Yeah, for sure. Hit me.
Wonderful. So let's start off with the really nice, easy one. What's the last thing you read?
Book wise.
Sure.
All right. Well, I'm currently reading a crime novel from a Swedish Finnish writer called Kjell Wester, and he's writing. He's an excellent writer when it comes to crime novels. So I'm currently writing that, but I'm also simultaneously reading a book called The Chicken Sisters, and I forget the author now, but it's a woman who wrote that book, and it's about these two sisters who have kind of like, grown apart a little bit. They're not seeing eye to eye on things, but they both have two restaurants in the same state with fried chicken, and they get this opportunity to be on a TV show competing about the best fried chicken. It's really funny, but it's also really like, I think if you ever had a fight with a family member or a really close friend, this story with these two sisters are gonna speak to you. I mean, they're really good. Super fun.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, if I need to hide a dead body, do you know a good place?
Hell yeah. I'm from Finland. Are you joking?
Oh, so if ever a place to murder anyone, I'm coming to Finland. There we go.
I mean, we have majority of our land is forest and ocean and lakes and stuff. Of course, there's a good place to hide a body.
Oh. What's the best concert you've ever been to?
Oh shit, that's hard. Okay, so
Top three?
all right, so I'm gonna limit myself to the last couple years, which makes it easier. So I saw the Tedeschi Trucks band when they were in Stockholm the last time, and it blew my mind. Holy crap, they were amazing. So good. Yeah. So that's definitely a top moment for me. I was high from music when I left that place. It was amazing.
Wonderful.
So good.
What's the first thing you would do if you ever won the lottery?
Well, the first thing I would do is I would, and this is super boring, but from an economic standpoint, I would pay off 50% of my mortgage, and then after that, I would go on tour and never come back.
That's great. I love it. I would be saying like that too. I'd be like, I'd pay off all my bills and yeah.
Yeah, because in Sweden,
loans, the fun stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But in Sweden, from an economic standpoint, it's beneficial to have a little bit of mortgage because of the the way the rate is of the mortgage. So it's more beneficial for me to have 30-40% left. So I would pay 50% of what I have and then just leave the rest. And then I would use all the rest of the money just to play music forever.
Perfect. I like that plan.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever speak in song lyrics?
Oh gosh, all the time. Yesterday I had one of my musical friends over, and we try to challenge each other by doing these songwriting sessions, because I've never been much of a collaborator, because I really like to write my own stuff. So, but I also like a challenge. So her and I have really, challenged each other when it comes to songwriting. So we try to do this every now and again. She came over yesterday, and we started writing this song, and we actually finished this song. And we just put it together, and I was thinking to myself afterwards, it's like, gosh, I'm such a cliche, because there's so much things that I think about and that I say all the time that I end up using in a song. There's It's ridiculous. It's such a cliche. So yes, all the time.
Oh, what job would you be terrible at?
um, Anything where I need to be nice to people face to face all the time. Like a face to face service job is not for me. I have a really bad temper. It would not be good.
Okay, we'll keep you off of customer service then.
Yes, please.
Oh, what is your game plan for zombie apocalypse?
You know what? If the zombie like apocalypse really happens, I'm just gonna go home to Finland, go out to my summer house on my island, and I wouldn't leave because like it's out in the middle of the ocean. How the hell would they come there? I would be
they're not swimming.
They don't like swimming. I'll be one of the survivors for sure.
Oh. What's an album or artist that we should listen to before we die?
Well, all right. I'm gonna choose. I could choose any of my old favorites, but I'm gonna choose a contemporary artist that I think everybody should know about. And I can honestly say that if you have not listened to either, no, okay, one. So if you haven't listened to Nikki Lane, you're missing out. That's what I'm going to say.
Beautiful recommendation.
Yes, right?
Who would play you in a movie of your life?
Oh, shit. Okay. Drew Barrymore.
Oh, what a great choice.
We were equally weird and funny.
I was thinking that already, so I'm just glad you said it. Oh, so one last question here on seriousness. Where's
right.
Waldo?
Anywhere I want him to be.
That's perfect. Oh, would you rather cook or order in?
I love to cook, so I'd rather cook, honestly.
Nice.
Yeah, it's
so
like
okay.
Yeah, I mean, cooking is like a second meditation to writing music. It just gives me a peace of mind. I love it.
Now, are there favorite dishes? And I know dishes are different. I know Norwegian is a lot of fish and stuff where they were. So is it the same, or is there something special that you like to cook that just?
I mean, one of my, like when I'm here in Stockholm, I can get really homesick for my family and stuff back home. So when I have one of those days where I'm really homesick, like it's nothing fancy at all, but it's just like pure, simple country cooking. So we have like this thing where it's pretty much just like potatoes, and then you make it's this very specific kind of meat sauce, and it's just taters and meat sauce pretty much, but it's very simple, but it's very specific from where I'm from, and from with my family. So it's delicious. So that's usually what I make when I'm really homesick.
That sounds really good.
It's really good.
You're gonna have to give me a recipe of that somehow, and so I can try it.
Oh my gosh, I'm happy to share it. Like it's so easy, but it's so good. It's so good.
Wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
What TV show would you be a member of?
Okay, so I would. That's so. I think either like Sex and the City or no, I think Sex and the City is pretty much, yeah.
That's a great choice.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So, do you prefer boots or heels?
Oh my gosh, fuck heels, boots all the time. Who the hell can walk in heels? They're uncomfortable. I can't do it.
Oh.
No.
We're gonna have to try that sometime. Next time you're in the US, we're just gonna have to be like, okay, we're gonna try this heel thing where you get like 6-inch stilettos or something, whatever. Yeah.
You know what? Speaking of boots, I want to show you something just to prove my point. Just hold on. Let's see. All right. So just to say, I'll show you. So I think hopefully you can see a little bit of my boot collection. This is just a little bit of all the boots I like to wear every day, not in the winter time, but most of the time. And I have probably 15 pairs of boots in different shade of brown. Because
there's nothing wrong with that at all.
No, right? It's just my favorite, and you can't go wrong. It just works all the time, depending. It doesn't matter what you wear or what occasion it is. It's always going to work.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So what's the best thing since sliced bread?
Unsliced bread. I hate sliced bread.
Right now it's probably sourdough bread, right? Because everyone's on that.
Exactly. I mean,
still like quarantine kick.
Yeah, I mean, no. So this is probably a thing that people don't know about Swedish bread. But me as a Finn, I don't eat Swedish bread at all, because Swedish bread is really sugary. Like, it's really, really, really like crazy sweet. And I hate that. So I go out of my way to go to the special stores that have my Finnish sourdough bread that I can eat for my breakfast every day. Like, it's ridiculous. It's really silly, but it's just, I can't do it. And it's not sliced. I have to do it myself.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand. I don't think I could do the sweet bread either like that.
Oh my God. No, because it's like, and it's something, if you speak to, I mean, since you have, a person who's from Norway, they're going to tell you the same thing. There's something about, like, all through the Nordic countries, Sweden is the only country who has the really sweet bread. Like, it's so sugary. Like, for me, I did not grow up with it. I'm not used to it. It tastes like cake. It's something I would put in a cake. That's how sweet it is to me. It's disgusting.
So it's like a dessert. Throw something on it, make it a dessert.
Exactly. Yeah, it really
or something.
Exactly. That's how sweet it is for me. Like, because I'm used to having like the really unsweetened, dark, sour bread.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
I know. We got to start doing some international stuff so we can do taste testing now. We have to,
right?
Like, yes, I'm gonna have to go to this country because I need a taste test. Oh, exactly. So do you have any guilty pleasure music? If so, what is it?
Well, honestly, I'm not ashamed of anything I listen to. But with that said, I have, sometimes it's really fun to go back and listen to the stuff that you listened to when you were a kid. Like, sometimes, especially when I'm cleaning my house, I have a playlist with all my like childhood, like preteen kind of stuff, which is like all Backstreet Boys and what else is on there? Like a little bit of Spice Girls and shit. What's the name of the band who did the never ever felt so long? I forget.
Yeah, I can't even think of the name either. Like, I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
So like all those kinds of things that were so big in like the mid 90s and the end of the 90s. So I have a playlist of all those songs that I put on sometimes when I clean, and that's my guilty pleasure.
Oh, that's perfect, because most of them seem to have really good beats that you just keep moving to, I think.
Exactly, because it's like the 90s were so really weird and awful, but kind of awesome at the same time, because a lot of really great like soul music and hip hop came out in the 90s, So there's a lot of that stuff on there too, and it's really fun to go back and just like, shit, this is really good. And you just clean way faster, and it's really awesome.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, so now correct me if I'm wrong on this. I don't know about the whole food thing across the ocean here, but I know some places have pizza.
Yeah.
Okay, then what is the worst topping on pizza?
I think the worst topping on a pizza is probably like canned tuna fish.
Oh, that doesn't even
It's
sound good.
no, it's not unusual here, but I hate it, and it's disgusting.
Oh.
It's not something I want on my pizza. No,
Yeah, I'm definitely out. Definitely not doing that.
no, it's
Okay.
disgusting.
So moving forward from that.
Yeah.
Oh, if you could be any person or
Mhm.
any position for the day, like
Okay.
CEO or whatever, who or what would you want to be for the day for a day?
Well, I honestly would want to be the CEO of Spotify, so I can for a day make all the changes so we can have more money from every stream that we get on Spotify, regardless of like, about the really weird like triangle of payments that they do on Spotify. So I would, for one day, I would try to abolish like the really weird priority system that they have with all the big shot record labels and stuff, but mostly I would want to give people more money for their streams, because like 0.007 cents is not enough, obviously, for something we create. That's, yeah, I would be the CEO of Spotify.
That's beautiful. I love that. Absolutely love that. I'm
Yeah.
all in. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
If we had a song,
Mm-hmm.
what would it be?
So a song explaining us right now.
Yes, like what would be our song? Like, I don't know.
Okay, so I would, okay. So, how about, let's see. Mm, hmm. I'm thinking I have like a little bit of a Patsy vibe. So maybe like, one of her, let's see. Definitely a Patsy song. I would say like classical country, like old school Patsy. So maybe like, well, I mean, it suits. So let's do Crazy,
Crazy's perfect.
right?
Absolutely. Oh, at what age did you become an adult?
Oh man, like probably 14 or even maybe earlier. Like I was such an asshole, sorry to myself when I was a kid. Like, but I mean, it's also, I mean, I'm not gonna go into like the super sad childhood story, but like I had a very specific relationship to one of my parents. So I had to grow up really early. So I think I was an adult before I was even like long before I was even considered a teenager. So, but I would say like 13, 14, I was probably done. I mean, I moved from home when I was 16, so somewhere
Awesome.
along that. Yeah.
Yeah. If you could win an Olympic medal for any
Mm-hmm.
sport, real or fake,
Mm-hmm.
what would it be?
Mm. Well, so there's this semi semi well, real, put the quotes on there, semi real sport in the Nordics of throwing your woman and see how long, like how far you can throw her. I would definitely want to be a champion of seeing how far I can throw a man.
Love it.
That would be super fun. Just to switch it up a little bit. That would be something I would want to do.
I like that. That's a cool. Definitely
Right?
different. Yeah.
Just to switch up, the gender neutrals and like the gender roles, and like maybe I'll throw you instead of you throw me for a change. Let's see how it happens.
I love that. You make sure if you ever do that, you got to call me. Just
Oh yeah,
video,
I mean,
chat, whatever,
Of course. I will FaceTime you and like, see how far I threw this man?
So what does the rest of 2022 have in store for you? You doing some tours, some new music? What's happening?
Well, in the spirit of Mrs. Roro, I'm not sure. I was supposed to go to London in the end of January to just network and all that stuff at Americana Music Week in London, but they just canceled it, so I'm not going to be able to do that. So that's really sad that they chose to cancel it and with such short notice. So I'm hoping instead that I'm going to go back to London or the UK in May for the Great Escape and play some shows before or after that festival and just be there and network and meet new people. And then hopefully do a little summer tour throughout the Nordics and then go back to the US in the fall.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I really, I miss the US. I really do. It's like my soul home. I want to go back to Nashville and meet my friends and, go around a little bit and see some friends around the States and, go back to Americana Fest.
Absolutely. Wonderful. So is there any place in the US that you love more than, obviously being in Nashville, I left your friends and things like that, but is there any place that travel wise that you like?
I'm so in love with New Orleans. I really am. It's
beautiful.
There's something special down there that's something I've never experienced anywhere else, with the people and the culture and everything around it. Like it's really special. And I want to go back there all the time. Like I really miss it. It's really magical.
Wonderful. Maybe we'll have to do a live show in somewhere in New Orleans and for Crazy Women Country and just experience some food, some music, whatever,
Absolutely. Let's do it. I'm all for it.
It's a plan.
Yeah.
We'll schedule it.
Hell yeah, we will. It's all in the future and we're going to grab it by the balls, as they say.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been a pleasure having you.
Thank you. It's been such a pleasure talking with you, Dana. And, honestly, I got to say, like, even with, I consider myself always trying to be like ever the optimist. Like, I don't believe in, everybody can get, a negative mindset, and I do too, but I always try to tell myself that like, this is not it. This is not the place that we're staying. So with all the difficult times that we've all experienced within the last 2, almost 3 years, I really do believe like it's coming to an end, and we're going to get back to doing what we love and connect with people and experience music for real. I believe I wouldn't say it if I didn't believe it. And I do. I think there's an ending to the darkness and it's coming real soon.
Absolutely. I think we're going to have a lot of changes going on. And
I think so, for sure.
I think we're still going to have some viruses and flus and whatever else is, happening.
Exactly.
But I think we're at the point where I think it's now getting over that, where we know what we should do. We know what we need to do. And if we're doing it, then we're going to stay safe and,
I think so
one day
too.
at a time.
Yeah, exactly. One day at a time. And we're looking forward to all the happy things coming.
Absolutely. And you are welcome back anytime.
Oh, I would love to. Anytime you want me, I'll be there.
Perfect. Well, thank you all for joining us for another episode. Have a great day, everyone. See you later.
Thank you. Bye.
If you enjoyed today's episode of Crazy Women Country, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Be sure to click the subscribe button for new interviews weekly. And thank you, friends, for joining us today on Crazy Women Country, where women's voices matter.